Hey, so today I thought it would be fun to show and talk about my Star Wars trading cards, which used to be my sister's trading cards. She's the one who actually bought them, collected them, and for years they were just kind of laying around, wrapped up in rubber bands, and then finally I put them in a proper album, at which point I tried giving them back to her, and she said, no, you keep them. So now they're officially mine. So let me turn this camera around and show ya. And here we are. Obviously, this is Return of Empire Strikes Back. Don't have any original Star Wars, as in A New Hope cards. My sister would have been, what, almost 5 when the first movie came out. So she couldn't buy those cards. But she got Empire and then later, let's see, Return of the Jedi. And I just counted them, and it looks like there's 395. And there's a lot of doubles and triples in here. As you can see, Luke's Patrol, Icy Shelter on Icy Hoth, Preparing for Battle. There's a lot of doubles, triples, quadruples in there. And most of these are basically right from the movies. They're, obviously they're not artistic representations or anything. They're snapshots from the movies or taken while the film was being made. Some of them are kind of more portrait shots, but most of them are from the movies. There are a few shots where they weren't in the film, such as good old Rogue 2, Gallant Warrior. Like this one of my favorites here, Skills of the Star Pilot. It's just a very calm scene of a dude just tinkering with something, with his space screwdriver. Looks like he's working on the Peltzer automatic orange juicer from Gremlins or something. But kind of a cool card. And then Han and the Princess, a scene that not in the film again, but most of them, as I said, are from the film. Here's another one not from the film, Vader and the Bounty Hunter. Of course, we have Vader shaking his, or pointing his finger at Boba Fett and saying, "No disintegrations." But we don't have him shaking his finger at, what was that, Dengar, and saying, "No throwing toilet paper at people," whatever. And so, anyway, there's a lot of Vader there. There's Leia in pink instead of white. Kindred Spirits. Don't fool with Han Solo. Get back, it's Vader. A line not spoken in the film, but it works for the card, I guess. Lando's Game. Invader's Clutches, a very dramatic thing there. And of course, the Empire's full of beautiful, dramatic lighting and scenes. And let's see. In the back of these cards, actually have, here's kind of a promo shot in a way. Yeah, definitely Han Solo, Harrison Ford, kind of posing in the doorway there. And then more portrait shots. Actor Billy D. Williams, dashing Han Solo. Hey, why isn't this dashing Billy D. Williams and this actor Han Solo? I mean, Harrison Ford, whatever. Gifted performer. Okay. Another shot that you don't see in the film. This almost looks like test footage or something. But on the back of these cards, there's a quiz. a star quiz, they call it, which I like to go over sometimes. And it's really interesting to kind of throw your mind back to when these cards were coming out and these movies were new. When Empire came out, of course, Star Wars was still brand new. You had 2 movies, and a third one was going to be coming out. The Galaxy Far, Far Away was still very fresh, and the world's first love affair with it was still going on. So it's kind of cool that way to think about people reading this quiz at that time. And the quiz actually starts on card number 144. These are all numbered. I have them in here by number. And the first one is, let's begin our star quiz with a question so easy you'd have to be living on Dagobah your whole life not to know the answer. Put simply, who is the force behind the Star Wars movies? Who created them? The answer is on card number 145, and it's of course George Lucas. And my sister actually answered some of these cards. I wrote down the answer to some of them, like here. What does Princess Leia do and say to Luke just before they swing across the chasm in the Death Star? And she correctly writes, kiss him and says, for luck. But some of her answers are kind of funny because she misspells them. Let me get some of these. Like, Darth Vader is also known as the Dark Lord of the... And it looks like she wrote Sith. I guess that's a Sith Lord with a hair lip. I am the Dark Lord of the Sith. And that's also one of the questions where you wouldn't know the answer by watching the movies. There are a handful of these questions where you wouldn't know the answer just by watching the films. You'd have to have some other source of information, an interview, a novelization, a record, an audio book, or something. And that's one of them. I don't think the word Sith actually ever is spoken in the original trilogy. And let's see here. Another one where she misspells it. What was the name of Princess Leia's home planet? She wrote Aldrine instead of Alderaan. Close. It's close. Not quite. And then, because there are multiple ones she wrote answers to. This one she wrote Aldrian. Closer. Aldrian. And then here's, what was the name of Luke Skywalker's aunt on Tatooine? And it looks like she wrote Aunt Broa here. And then on another one, looks like she wrote Aunt Bola. Can you imagine? Uncle Owen, Aunt Bola. But this is my favorite. Here, let's see. What wars did Luke's father and a younger Ben Kenobi fight in before the Empire came into power? It looks like she wrote Colonel there, but here she wrote Cologne. The Cologne Wars. Can you imagine if that's what it was? That they were just fighting over Cologne? If that was the spice that was coming from Kessel, and they were all just fighting over dudes smelling good. But you can easily understand why she would write that. Because as a kid, I'd never heard the word clone. When I heard the word Clone Wars in Star Wars, or the term, the word meant nothing to me. It was just like, okay, so that's the name of the war, the Clone Wars. But the word clone conveyed nothing to me, and I imagine it was the same with my sister at that young age. So she just went to the next word that she did know that sounded like it. And it became Cologne, the Cologne Wars. And then let's see. Let me flip forward here. Um, to end here. Again, this is information that will be in the film. It will be during the closing credits, but it's for the die-hard fans. Name the special effects supervisors for The Empire Strikes Back. That's definitely a hardcore fan question. The answer being Brian Johnson and Richard Edlund. Then, who is the producer of Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back? Gary Kurtz. Then, let's see, there was another one. This is interesting. How many films in the Star Wars series are planned by George Lucas? Growing up, I'd heard different rumors regarding that. And this is card number 146. I do not have 246. I don't have card 247. But I looked it up online. Found card 247 online to see what answer was being given there. And the answer was 9. So that was what George Lucas was evidently selling at that time. I have enough stories in mind for 9 films. And, I had heard 9, I had heard 12, and the young me was just like, wow, can you imagine if we get more than the 3 movies we have? That's amazing. And then there was another one here that kind of made me laugh here. Anyway, what I was looking for was a card that asks, what color are Chewbacca's eyes? I'm just like, who's paying attention to that? I guess maybe you notice on the big screen. Anyway, the answer was blue. I guess that was Peter Mayhew's eye color. Anyway, and that leads us to, let's see here. There's some behind the scenes cards here. Director Irvin Kershner, sprucing up a Wookiee, filming the Falcon. Kershner directs Mark Hamill. Dagobah comes to life, building the Falcon, filming Vader in his chamber, shooting the exciting climax, filming an explosion, Hoth base sequence, spectacular swampland set. And then there's a handful of red border cards, instead of the blue borders. And it leads us to Return of the Jedi. Lando Calrissian, Chewbacca, C-3PO, R2-D2, Princess Leia Organa. Good old Salacious Crumb. I always loved Salacious Crumb. He was just the dude who was there to laugh at everybody. He didn't care, man. He was kind of, I don't know. He was kind of Jabba the Hutt's cat. He was just there to sit on judgment of everyone and just laugh and enjoy everyone's whatever and not care. Anyway, but he was kind of the galaxy far, far away's version of who was the dude in Oscar the Grouch? Yeah, and Oscar the Grouch was definitely my favorite character in Sesame Street because he was, to me, the most individual character. He didn't care what anyone else was doing. The Cookie Monster was cool too. Let's see. Villains Confer, The Rescue, Sly Noodles. And the Return of the Jedi cards do not have a quiz on the back. They just have descriptions of the picture that's on the front. So let me read a couple of those here. Let's see here. Yoda, the Jedi Master. On the swamp planet Dagobah, young Luke Skywalker discusses the ways of the Force with Yoda, the Jedi Master. More than ever, Luke realizes that his actions are of profound significance. Some of these descriptions aren't really accurate to the film, but like when they're talking about Boushh, the bounty hunter Boushh, or Boushh, however you pronounce it, you know, that Leia comes disguised in at the beginning of the film. The card actually acts like that's a bounty hunter and not Leia. Let's see, where was that one? Bounty hunter Boushh. That's the way I'm pronouncing it. Jabba the Hutt's throne room in his desert palace on Tatooine is filled with mysterious and highly dangerous creatures. One of the most formidable is the masked bounty hunter Boushh. I mean, she is pretty formidable, and I mean, it's a little misleading. Then let's see what else we got here. Yeah. Let's see, Master of Terror. Let's see what they say for Master of Terror. The Emperor of the Galaxy, the undisputed Master of Evil, addresses the young Jedi Luke Skywalker and his strangely silent father, Lord Darth Vader. Let's see here. Death Star raid. Within the Death Star. that space battle is so cool. Lightsaber battle. Lead General Akbar. And we get to the end here with congratulating Wedge, good old Wedge. The Triumphant Trio. And Toward Brighter Tomorrows. Let me go ahead and read the heroic droids. Let me read the back of these cards here. Okay, so let's see. Congratulating Wedge. Han Solo takes time to congratulate Wedge, a courageous rebel pilot, during the victory celebration on the moon of Endor. This is truly a glorious day for the forces of freedom. Then, the Triumphant Trio. Han Solo, Princess Leia, and Luke Skywalker led the Rebel Alliance to victory over the forces of the evil Empire. Now, destiny takes their lives in new directions. And finally, Toward Brighter Tomorrows, which of course was this card. Okay. Luke Skywalker has grown as a Jedi Knight and as a man. His battle with the Empire was something of a battle with himself. His struggle to overcome hatred and revenge, to resist evil, and finally, to bring out the good in his father. The Force will be with him, always. End of story. That's right. So, anyway, that's the collection. Those are the cards, basically. I'm very pleased to have them. I'm glad my sister collected them and entrusted them with me. Trusted me with them, whatever. It's fun to go over them every once in a while and kind of cast my mind back and go back mentally to the galaxy far, far away, and also to that time period when these cards were being released. So anyway, I hope it was interesting or cool to you, whatever. Anyway, thanks for listening.